Hi and welcome to Stamp with Angela. I'm Angela Palmer, and today I thought I would share with you a card that I made quite a while ago with my open home event at the end of January, beginning of February, that my customers got to make. And it's a card, particular kind of card design or card sketch that you could use with some stamps and things that you have at home as well. So I'll show you how I made it. I will also share with you some variations. So the same layout of card, but with different stamp sets and even different colours too. And then hopefully you can give it a go at home and make it as well. So I hope you're had a good Easter weekend, you're doing okay during the lockdown, and that's why I thought it may be nice to just have some time this afternoon and make a card. So I've got a card for you today. Hopefully that inspires you, and I'd love to see some creations that you've made too. Alright, so I'm going to turn the camera down now onto my table so you can see what we're going to make today. Alright, here we go. Just lining up. Okay, so this is the card that I have designed here. So if you're watching and you're one of the people that did come to my open home, made this card, but keep watching because I will show you some variations on it as well, and then you can have a go at making it in some different ways at home too. So firstly, I'll show you what I'm using to make with it, and I've also got measurements and things too. So the particular stamp set for this card that I'm going to show you today is the Timeless Tulip stamp set, and it comes with a coordinating punch as well. So I don't know if you can see on this card there's a bit of dimension because the tulips and the leaves are lifted up, and a bit of twine and stamping there as well. You'll also notice the embossing folder here. It's the Coastal Weave embossing folder, which I've used quite a bit recently, and it's a cool embossing folder to use. So what do you need to make this card? Well, lucky for you, I've written out the measurements and things. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of it if you like. So Highland Heather, so this is here, so it's half of an A4 scored at 10.5. Got the Pear Pizzazz cardstock, which is 10 centimeters by 14.3, and Whisper White. You need a few pieces of Whisper White, so we need a little one here for our tag. Whoops, sorry, I'm covering them. 5 by 5 centimeters. You need a piece that's 14 centimeters by 13.8 for this, and then you need a piece for inside. And I've also remembered you actually need a bit extra for scraps for doing this as well. So add on to that plus scraps, or add that on plus scraps. Okay, and then your crumb cake piece, so 4 centimeters by 13.8, which you're going to emboss. And the main things are the Tulip, Timeless Tulip stamp set, the punch, and the Coastal Weave embossing folder. So the colours I've used today are the Highland Heather, which is the same as that, and the Pear Pizzazz, which is the same as the green cardstock. So once you've got all those things together, you can make the card. So let's start with a little bit of stamping. Okay, so this piece here is going to stamp my flower in the background, and then we'll do the stem in that first. Alright, so you want it to the left so that you've got enough room for another flower too. So we'll do it kind of about there. Hopefully that's going to fit well. And then let's put this underneath because we're going to go off slightly. A little bit lower for our other flower. Probably about there. Then we're going to do our leaves. Now there are different leaves in this stamp set, so this one here is the one that fits the punch, whereas these other ones are just good for stamping. So I'm going to the one that's behind the flower, I'll use this one here because it's a little bit more straight up and down. So we'll do one that side and one like that. Okay, so that's our stamping on there. We then need to stamp this flower, so that's going to be in the Highland Heather. Lovely. So I have re-inked this, so this is a little bit darker. If you're wanting it lighter, you could stamp off first and then stamp. Okay, so for my flowers and leaves, we've got a couple of options to do this. You can stamp and then punch it out, and if you're going to do that, I would do the flower, you'd stamp it first and then punch it out. Do it on the left so you're not wasting the leaf. Or you can make yourself a template and then your block, I need to find the leaf stamp. Where have I put it? Where's it gone? I just took it. Oh, here it is. So let's turn it over that way. So it's going to like sit like, no, it needs to go the other way because we need to stick it down. So kind of put it underneath, and this one as well. Let's see if I can make this work. Fit in nicely. Then I can ink them up together very carefully and do them in one go. Can hardly see if I've got any ink on there, but hopefully I do. We'll see if this works. Okay. Whoops. Got a bit of green on my flower, not good. We can turn it over and try again. It's because I'm being videoed that it's harder. So let me see if I can do that a bit better this time. I know I've okay, let's hope it's better this time. Not quite so good with the purple ink, but we could always colour that in a little bit. But there you go. Now let's see if it fits the punch. Okay. Not quite as exacting as I would like, but you get the idea. Or if you want to go for the safer option, we'll just stamp like, not doing very evenly with my ink here. Let's try again. I know we want it on the left corner like I said before. That's better. Alright, so we can just do that by itself. And then 2 leaves. So 1. Now I should do it on that side because the leaf is over here. So I was probably a bit rushed with that other one, but you get the idea. And then like so. Okay. So now we have the bits that we need to put this together. Alright, sorry I haven't been looking at comments while I've been concentrating here, but hello and welcome to those that are watching. I appreciate you watching today. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is these are going to be put on with dimensionals, and you'll also notice that I've put some twine on. So the twine has gone under the leaf, so I'm going to put that on next. So my little trick for putting twine on, rather than wrap it all the way around, is I put some tape, tear-in tape or snail, this is a bit quicker, and I'm going to glue it down anyway. So where are we going to put it? About here. So stick it down, maybe about there, and then bend it back, and then where the tape is, stick it down, and I'm going to make it go a bit higher. I like crossing it over, you might not like to cross it over. And stick it down and cut it off. And I might just tie my bow on afterwards once I've put it on the card. Okay, so I'm going to add those later. Alright, so using the Coastal Weave embossing folder with a embossing plate, I've already embossed that, ready to go. So now we're going to do a little bit of assembly, putting it together. Alright, so with my Highland Heather Cardstock, I'm going to use my bone folder to crease it. Then it's not quite straight, so let's just give it a helping hand there. Does that look better now? Yes, that looks better. Okay, so adhere that there. So I like to use the liquid glue. Some people prefer snail, some people prefer tape. You may use whichever you prefer. The reason I like glue is because then I've got a chance to kind of adjust it slightly. All right, so when you come to place this, you want, oh, you know what? This one is too short. I remember cutting one and it was too short. So that's okay. I will cut one now and you can see how I emboss it. So I'm just quickly going to cut one again. Alright, there we go. Let's move the ink out the way. I'll just grab my big shot and you can see me embossing it. Okay, so with the new Stampin' Up embossing folders, this is the 3D one, so they're a bit thicker. And it's got stamping on it, so you know it's the Stampin' Up one. You put your big shot platform down first. You then put your piece inside. And if you use the embossing plate, then it is exactly the right thickness, and you just wind it through. Like so. Alright, so that's always good to place things before you adhere them. Then you know they're going to fit. Okay, phew, this fits. So you'll see that I've got an even border around. If you really want them to be together, you can. But for me personally, I like that little bit of a gap in the middle too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my adhesive on both. Then I can stick them down. Then I can adjust them at the same time if need be. So that's just a little tip. The way I like to do it. You can, if you wish, spritz that cardstock through to give a really deep indentation and things, but obviously you need to let it dry before adhering it. So I'm not going to push that too hard, just lie it down, put this on, and then just adjust them as you need to. Okay. There we go, so getting there, nearly done. So now we need to add our flower and leaves. So I'm going to use dimensionals for that. Okay. Whoops, we'll put a couple on there. Let me just, so that'll go up the other way, but I'm just kind of thinking about placing here. So maybe one there and then, I don't know, that way kind of thing. Similar to what I've done on that one. Okay, so I like to use these bits as well, get the use of all the bits of dimensionals. So that way I can use up some thinner pieces, get value for money that way. Alright, so let's put on our flower at the top, our tulip. There we are. And now our leaves, if I can remember which way I had them facing. And then we'll do our bow afterwards. Oops, that's sticking to me. Okay. So maybe at the, I don't really want it to go over the card too much, otherwise it will be more difficult to fit into the envelope. A bit lower because I want to do a bow as well. Alright, nearly done on the front. More things to do. My twine. So I'm going to just loop it in there and tie a bow. Alright, there we go. Lovely. Okay, cut off the end. Okay, so what are we missing? We still need our sentiment. So there should be a small piece that is about 1.5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. And we're going to stamp our happy birthday or whatever sentiment you like. That turned out well, very good. And you can place it wherever you like. Maybe we'll try one up there this time for something a bit different. You can put it or decide where you like it. Maybe about there. Now if this is a bit too busy, I could have also put the twine on there for something a bit different. Alright, to finish it off for the inside, what I'm going to do is stamp the little flower. So I will get my scrap piece again, my Pear Pizzazz ink. Just trying to decide if I do the flower, maybe I'll do this first. And then hopefully I can see where to line it up to. And if you wish, you can put some leaves on there as well. Beautiful. And then we're going to adhere that inside. Don't go away because I've got several other cards that I've made with the same design to show you some variations on this. And of course, if you want to, if you like stamping an envelope, you could do an envelope as well. So this is the same color, but it's either this is more inked up, or I stamped off first. Stamping off is when you stamp onto a scrap piece of paper and then stamp your image, and that gives you a lighter color. So I hope you liked that card there. So the stamp set I used is the Timeless Tulips. So the tulips and the happy birthday is from that. You can make this a Mother's Day. You might need to make it a little bit wider, but that would make a very pretty Mother's Day card as well. Alright, so I've also made the same design card using the Daisy Lane. So this is it here. So a simple design. So I've stamped the stem and the leaves in the background, and then on a scrap piece of paper punched 2 of those, and lifted it up with dimensionals. Now I forgot to put the twine around, but that's okay. I decided to add some pearls instead, and then the happy birthday, and then I used that flower on the inside just so I could keep it flat. So it's the same size, layout and different things, same colours, but a completely different stamp set. So if you've got a stamp set that's got a nice long Stampin' It flowers or something, that would go really nicely with this card. Now I'm going to show you a completely different colour with the same design using the painted poppies. So I've gone for red and black for this card. So here we go, same kind of layout and design, but I've gone for Poppy Parade and basic black. So I've used this flower here, and I stamped it 3 times. I wasn't sure at first if it was going to work, but then I added some of the sequins to it as well to add to it. And odd numbers are always good. I've done 3 flowers and then 5 sequins as well. I really wanted to add red sequins and things, but I couldn't find the poppy painted poppies or peaceful poppies sequins, but I found those and they look quite nice. But again, the same design, but I felt this would be too busy over there. So instead I've put the twine on that side, and I've made it a happy birthday card and just done one inside. So I've shared before, might even have a YouTube video on how I got the 2 colours in the flowers, and basically I use markers, stamp with markers, and that way you can use 2 different colours. But if you'd like to know more about it, check out my YouTube videos. And then I've just put a bit of Winker Stella. I'm not quite sure if you can see, there's a slight sparkle on those because I've coloured them with a Winker Stella as well. And then I thought I'd use this stamp, but obviously that's short, so how could I make it work? So it's the same design, but I've turned it sideways. So I stamped that twice and just coloured some. You could colour all if you wanted, but I quite like just highlighting some of them. And then inside I've just done that quite low down. So it is the same style of card, but turned on an angle. Okay, so I'll show you those measurements again in case you missed them earlier. Obviously this is the measurements for this card here for the purple and green with the Highland Heather and the Pear Pizzazz, but this will show you the measurements that you need to make this card. So I hope you found this video useful and inspiring. Why not give it a go and choose some other colour options. I've used purple and green and red and black, but you might like to use pinks or blues or yellows or something. I'd love to see some. I'll share the measurements in the comments in that as well. So here you go, here's some of the creations I made. And this one here too. So thanks for watching. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. And yeah, I hope to see you again soon, either with a Facebook Live, or feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which has tips and other videos too. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.